highlight. Hey, so feel free to get fives on it out.
Buttering up 101.
Yeah. So what we give to our students at dog days, at any of the group sessions, kind of keep it lively, little quizzes during our sessions. Got a few more minutes. Thank you for coming. Essentially what we're having our session on is building credibility through collaboration, how faculty and advisors can work together to aid in an advising center's growth. So essentially what we have done here is we're now completing our first year of being around on campus on Fresno State University. We're housed in the College of Social Sciences. And so what we've done is we sent a questionnaire after our first year to the chairs of each department in our college, and then also to the program coordinators. So for instance, in criminology, we have program coordinators. We want to make sure that they were involved also in this process. So we ended up getting about 80% of our questionnaires back, so we feel that's a pretty good little buy-in right there already after our first year of them just wanting to be a part of what we're developing here.
I wanted this presentation to be more kind of that first-hand experience from faculty. As you know, they can be a resistance to new advising centers or kind of the academic affairs, student affairs side. So we want to kind of get their first-hand experience on what were your thoughts regarding advising at Fresno State specifically, but also with the advising center, what were some of your worries or fears, and we'll kind of talk about what their concerns were and kind of what we've been doing, collaborating with them to ease their stress of these strangers coming into their college. So we'll kind of talk about that throughout the presentation. My name is Ross Whitton. I'm one of the counselors from the College of Social Sciences, Fresno State.
I'm Joseph Escoto, also one of the academic counselors for the College of Social Sciences. And then we have another team member as well, Lydia Mua, that's new to the team and is back home handling our center as we get ready for registration. Right? Perfect timing.
I'll go back to that. So we'll kind of go around, kind of get a feel for the room. We'd like to know where everyone's coming from as far as their role on their campus. So just real quick, just their name, job title, and then what campus you're coming from. That's right over here.
Jazzy Murphy, I'm the interim director for the Academic Advising Center at Sac State.
Pam Adams, I'm the lead advisor for the College of Business Administration Advising Center at Cal Poly Pomona.
I'm Kim, I'm from UC Davis, I'm the staff advisor in the Department of Statistics.
I'm Cheryl Lugo, I'm the advisor for the College of Social Sciences and Interdisciplinary Studies at Sac State.
I'm Lauren Steinhoff, Assistant Director at Academic Advising Center at Sacramento State.
I'm Tiffany Northern, Academic Advisor at Sacramento State.
I'm Larry Bliss, I'm the Director of Academic Advising and Career Education at Cal State.
On the spot.
My name's Gabrielle Hoskins, I'm an Academic Advisor at Sac State.
Adriana Scavarskis, I coordinate the I Declared and Express Business Advising at Sacramento State.
Tiffany Tran, Council Faculty, Education Officer at Urban Valley College.
Mary Kitty Aguilar, I'm the lead counselor for Academic Advising and Career Education at Cal State East Bay Clear.
Cassandra Dunn, I'm an undergraduate advisor in the Department of Classics, which is part of the cluster, and I'm at UC Berkeley.
I'm Nicole Smuggle. I'm the Student Services Manager for the Orange Cluster. We're also clustered here at UC Davis, and my cluster has communications, linguistics, and political science.
Excellent.
My name is Kelly McGregor, and I'm an academic advisor at Chico State.
I'm Damon Hammer, Academic Advising Faculty Coordinator at Chico State.
Good morning, my name is Caitlin Baumgartner-Lee. I'm the Interim Director of Academic Advising Programs at Chico.
I'm Kylie Sharp, I'm an Academic Advisor at Sacramento State.
Alexis Holiday, College of Science and Math at Fresno State, and I'm an academic advisor.
Miles Gill, Academic Advisor, College of Science and Mathematics. Go Fresno State Bulldogs.
I'm Caitlin McCarthy. I'm an Advising Center Supervisor at UC Davis for Psychology, Philosophy, and Cognitive Science.
I'm Lizette Rojas. I'm from Cal State Long Beach, working in the College of Business Administration as an analyst, and I work a lot with both our professional advisors as well as our faculty advisors.
Excellent, welcome.
Vikash Lakhani, AVP for Student Success at CSU Bakersfield.
Kathy Dunbar, Interim Director at the University Advising Center, Fresno State.
Lauren Holtz, Assistant Coordinator of Dog Days and Student Orientation and Academic Counselor in the University Advising Center at Fresno State.
Susan Cancer, Academic Advisor, UC Davis.
Teresa Castaneda, Student Success Coordinator, College of Environmental Design at Cal Poly Pomona.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here. We have a good variety of counselors from different departments, different colleges. So hopefully this will help as far as working with your faculty within your college. We did want to give you kind of a brief background of advising at Fresno State so you have an idea of where we're coming from. Previously, prior to 2012-13-ish, we were more kind of a centralized advising campus. We had our University Advising Center, or UAC, which they handled for most of our majors, our GE advising, our dog days orientation, our probation disqualification students, degree requirements, class registration assistants. They handled PDQ. So they worked with a lot of the majors from a lot of different academic colleges on campus. At that time, we had a few centers already in some of the college academic centers with science and math, health and human services, business, and education. But there were some of our other schools and colleges on campus that did not have its own advising center hub. So what happened is there was an internal survey done on campus around 12-13 academic year, and they interviewed faculty advisors, staff advisors, and students to find out how can we serve our students better. And so from that, they found the faculty really want to have an advising center in their college. Because to be honest, they didn't want to do the GE advising, the DPR stuff. They want to focus more on the career, grad school, mentoring type things. So they thought it would be ideal to have an advising center within their college to work with their majors to advise on these type of things with the general advising, the probation disqualification, class registration assistance. So fast forward 2 years later, after the results are found, it goes to the president. He says, okay, let's do this. Let's open up these centers in the other colleges. So like Joseph said, we've only been open since September of 15. So we are babies to the campus, but growing fast. I think collaborating with our faculty quickly, which we'll talk about more about that. So now across our campus, we have advising centers in all of our academic colleges, which advise specifically with those students. And then we still have the University Advising Center working with more specifically undeclared returning students, probation disqualification students. That's kind of a brief background as far as how advising is at Fresno State. A great quote as far as this is some of the stuff, the feedback we got from our faculty advisors within our college regarding their concerns about these advising centers coming up. You can see their concern is ultimately money being taken away from the classroom, from more faculty and staff being hired within their departments. So that was kind of a big concern. We'll talk more about that throughout the presentation is where's the money coming from? I think that's always a concern when new things pop up is where is this money coming from and how is it going to affect our students and the faculty within our college. I know College of Social Science at different universities can be different, so I did want to give you kind of a brief rundown of our colleges and our numbers. So undergrads, we have about 2,700. So for 3 counselors, that's how many students we have within our college. We are a unique college at Fresno State because we have one of the largest majors on campus with CRIM, which is about 1775, and one of the smallest programs with Africana Studies. So we're a unique college in that aspect where we have big discrepancy in student populations for different majors, which is great because I think with working with Africana Studies, Women's Studies, Chicano Latin American Studies, meeting with them, they really wanted us to outreach, promote their majors. That's what they saw kind of our role as with them. Whereas with CRIM, they were just like, yes, please take the load off our plates. We have way too many students as it is. So this is kind of just a brief kind of background on what majors we serve within our college.
And then again, we're keeping this really open, so if you have any questions like, wait, slow down, explain that, or anything pop into your head, feel free to raise your hand. We can always slow down and answer that question. You don't have to wait till the end.
What are the most popular majors at Fresno?
At Fresno State, criminology is one of them, psychology is another. We have
Business is big.
business.
Ag is another big one. Liberal studies program is big for our teachers.
The pre-nursing, or getting into the pre-nursing program is something that's backed up as well at our university.
And now they're at our office. They're declared.
Yes. So, again, yeah, thank you, good question. So we started out with this opening the communication with our survey. We wanted to find out, you know, what was the communication like before our center came in? How are you using the advising center, the university advising center before? One of our staff found that for him, it was quite all right. We have on our campus a campus advisory network, so faculty are encouraged to come as well as the professional service staff as well, and we kind of get together and we talk about the new things that are coming up. So this faculty member and chair was actually utilizing that opportunity to kind of already build his network with advisors. We also had a flip side where it was quite rare that a professor, as a professor, I had contact with university advising. It was typically occurred when there was a very complex question, something that was maybe outside of their major. For instance, I have an athlete, how many units can I apply athlete to his overall or her overall 120? You know, it got a little deeper than just, oh, this is a class substitution. So that's where this faculty member found that, you know, I rarely ever use them. We had another member reply, I've been at Fresno State since fall 2001 and I rarely had any contact with the university. So this person, you know, went solo, oh, no, it's okay. And, you know, tried to navigate policy on their own. It sounded like, you know, with reading these, you know, is rare communications happening and there's a disconnect between the advising center and faculty. So it was interesting for us. We went forward a little bit and then we asked a follow-up question. What were your initial thoughts coming when you found out here comes the College of Social Science Advising Center? Whether you kind of like it or not, it's going to be here as part of a student resource. So again, Ross had touched upon it, and this is a different faculty member with their concern, really dealing with the cost of maintaining the center. It would overall become a theme with another centralized theme of losing contact with face-to-face time with their students as well. So I'll give you a minute or two to read over our faculty concerns. And then on the printout as well, we have those for you to read over.
This is a survey you sent out, or how, okay.
It's a questionnaire, actually, more or less. Yeah, not really a survey, a questionnaire to our chairs.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
When this survey went out, had it been determined what advising would look like in terms of would students be having mandatory advising through these centers, or was it still sort of up in the air at that point?
So this survey was sent out after our first year. So they already know kind of how it's running. And then with, we'll kind of go into our role. Ross will kind of explain how we started that initial conversation a year ago, kind of getting the communication aspect going with our true new center and our faculty.
I think the idea of the survey was to kind of get their thoughts throughout our first year, kind of when they heard about this happening, kind of what we're looking at right now, what were your initial thoughts, and now into year one, what has either changed or what still might be some issues we're still having into year one. So, I mean, ideally we want to see that these spheres are going away to be effective working with our faculty. So that was kind of the idea of the survey was, now that we've been here a year and our roles have been established, what's working, what's not, and you know, is this working for our faculty?
What does your physical space look like? Are you an actual center, or is it like you're in an office, and you're?
So yeah, we have kind of a separate reception center, and then there's an office with our 3 counselors in there. Yeah.
And I apologize if I missed this.
No.
The decision to move to the decentralized, was that something that went through your academic senate, or was that something that came down from, say, President Provost?
So when we got the results from the survey, or the internal survey that was done, my understanding was it went to the president and through the stages, And then from that, he determined we'll have these centers now open.
So you've got more than one center on campus?
Yeah, so all of our academic colleges now have their own advising center.
Some of the newer centers are Jordan College of Agricultural Science is brand new with us, been around for a year.
Engineering was new, arts and humanities, so those were the colleges that didn't have centers at that time.
Were there space issues in setting up these centers, like
So-
giving up space? to
Right,
those
so
centers?
yes, our space was adjunct faculty offices, so that was, for all the centers, a problem is finding, where do we put these new counselors now? You know, we had a great associate dean who was very proactive in finding us a space quickly, but yes, that was an issue for a lot of the other new centers as well. Yeah.
So at your centers, are you doing major specific advising as well?
So well, I'll touch on it a little bit more, but yes, so when we met with the departments, we kind of had a discussion, what do you want us to do, what would you like us to do, and so it was shared with us that we would handle major advising as well with GE.
Yeah, basically the chief concern was losing time and money. You know, time with the students, face to face. You know, are they ever going to come in and see us for that professional guidance? Are you taking over the career side of this? And then again, money, money, money. Who's going to pay for you? Where is this coming from?
I think the idea when the centers came out was faculty would now not be involved with students anymore. They would go specifically to the center. So that was kind of the conversation from the beginning having with them is that's not the case. We're not here to take the students away. It's kind of a collaboration and joint effort in working with the students. But then we set those roles. I'll talk about how we set those roles specifically. Good questions. Liaisons from each of the college. So these were either department chairs of those majors or faculty. There's just one person that we would meet with in the beginning when we first opened. And that's where we kind of built kind of this contract on our relationship, what we'll do, what our roles will be. So there it was discussed, you know, as advisors, what can you guys do for us? But also with faculty, what would you like us to do for you? So a lot of it was different. Some were like, no, we're fine seeing our students because they're smaller majors. But they said we're open if they go and see you as well. But, you know, we're fine if they come and see us because we want to keep that connection. More specifically, our Women's Studies department wanted to continue to see their students. So we were perfectly fine with that. And they said we have an open door policy, bring their students by whenever you're with them. Like I said, the bigger majors like CRIM, we're very happy to relieve all GE, change of majors, class registration stuff to the centers because it freed up their faculty to work on career guidance, grad school, talk about courses in general in the major, internships as well. So the liaisons was a good start to this relationship with each of the departments in our college because we really got to sit down one-on-one with them to see what it is you want from us to be effective. So it was not us going to the meeting saying, here's everything we can do for you. It was more kind of saying, well, what do you want us to do to help relieve the stress off of you? And also going back to the previous quotes, relating to them, we're not here to take these students away. It's more to work together with these students. Slowly but surely, we have been invited to some department meetings also to kind of give updates on what's going on in the center. They've given us updates on what's going on within their majors. So that's been nice to meet the fellow faculty within all the majors as well. Because really up to this point, we've had relationships with just the liaisons from most of the departments. So we've had a few department meetings as well. And so with the liaison relationship, it's nice because we have that person of contact whenever we come across a course substitution issue or a memo that needs to be submitted. We can email that person or call them and say, you know, is this something we can do or how do you want to work with the student? And so that way we can kind of work with the faculty in helping the student, help the student resolve their issue. So this is again another quote we got from one of our faculty as far as, you know, we've been very impressed by how closely the centers work with us to see that we are kept in the loop and we are still the ones making decisions that impact the operation of our curricula. So that was clear. We weren't here to, you know, tell them how to run their major. We were just here to help support them any way we could. And then, of course, we're keeping in the loop with changes that we're coming across or issues we're seeing since, you know, we're seeing their students, you know, in the trenches, as I've heard. So problems that arise that we're seeing, we're bringing that to their attention as well when it comes to, when we see those issues.
So there's almost, the team effort is almost a shared model. What we're doing is handling the GE, the specifics of policy, but we really always at the end of a session reinforce meeting with that faculty member so they get the proper career advice. I'm not sure if it's on our next slide, but one of the faculty had relayed that it opened up more time for them to talk about real issues, not worrying about this GE before substitute and having to go through assist.org to find that out. So it really has actually added to their time with students, as well as go back a little bit, our associate dean was really proactive when the center came out to invite us to the chairs retreat to get that initial buy-in also, which I think was key. We attend those now. We went to our second one, and it's really just good to get your face out there because, you know, as a lot of people know, there's a fear of unknown. So if we don't know you, we don't want you here. We don't know what you're doing here. You know, so really introducing ourselves. Hi, I'm Ross. Hi, I'm Joe. We're here to support you. How do you want us to support you? And then the chairs kind of got that feeling of, okay, good. And so then that's when the department meetings started happening. Because even though the chair might have been on board, the faculty is another issue. So recently went to the geography department. You know, they're a newer department that's now on board with us. So what we were able to do is eliminate that fear, introduce a friendly face. It was really nice that they let us come to a department meeting. Absolutely didn't have to, but they wanted to see what we could offer. So we let them know what we're bringing, how we're using, you know, our new technology, social media, that to outreach to students to let them know about the great things your program can offer. The fact that they're bringing on a new option, city and regional planning. That's something we can use to outreach to students, kind of like how women's studies, like, you know, let criminology students know how they compare women's studies double major. I'm like, okay, you know, that's what I want too. I want to maximize the potential for your students. And that's pretty much what we go and do at these department meetings. How can we best maximize the potential of our students?
What's your reporting? You said you have an associate dean. Do you report directly to the associate dean and then nothing to the university advisory center?
So our director, yes, we report directly to our associate dean.
And that's it.
Yes.
Certain of the centers have a director with them. Ours is right now our associate dean who we're
And it's about establishing credibility, like you saw in the previous quotes. You know, kind of their initial thoughts when the center opened was their concern of who's going to train these new advisors. How are they going to know all of the little nuances of our major and be able to help our students? So I think that first semester, that first year really was about building that relationship with the faculty and really building those relationships with our students in our college. Kind of almost proving ourselves to the faculty, like, hey, we can do this. We know we can pick up these majors quickly with your help, of course. So these were a couple of great quotes that we found from some of our faculty. Their willingness to meet and learn about each of our majors and what degrees we offer has been so important. They really have become partners of our department, contributing to increased student success. So I think they can see that these meetings we've been having with them, usually, you know, when things come up, it's not all the time, you know, once a year maybe with our liaisons. But I think showing them how knowledgeable we are in their majors has kind of proved our credibility to them. And then kind of what Joseph touched on, kind of looking at the time they save me has enabled me to actually spend more time with individual students regarding advice and planning their coursework toward a smooth path to graduation. So again, taking kind of that GE advising, the class registration stuff off the faculty plate, they refer them to us and they can focus more on stuff that they really want to advise their students on. That's kind of what the relationship was looking at is, you know, what would you guys prefer to do with your students? And that's what they found from that survey they did back in 2012. As faculty were like, we'd rather work with our students more on careers and grad school internships that we might require in our departments. Less GE stuff. We don't want to do that as much. So I think this was huge with establishing credibility with the faculty and kind of proving our worth within that first year. And you'll kind of see from the numbers here, I think, kind of dictate the buy-in we got from faculty and students. So again, the first fall semester is when we opened. So September 1st was our start date. We had about 441 students. And then that spring semester about doubled it. So I think that I can show where we got the buy-in from the faculty referrals, and our students find out, I think, more about us also. But I think also the faculty, referring students to our center to come in for advising. Summer, which is never a busy time, well, I mean, at least for us at Fresno, so I was pretty happy with 252 students coming in during the summertime, which is usually slow for us. And already at the start of this semester, already surpassing our numbers from last year. So, okay.
Are you working with incoming students at orientation for your college?
And we'll talk, we have a slide on that, but yes, we're working with the new incoming freshmen and transfers at orientation.
I actually had a couple quick questions. One, is advising mandatory at the college level? Like, do students in criminology, let's say, have to go to this advising center?
So we don't have any particular department mandatory advising holds. We have the normal, 60, 75 unit mandatory advising, first semester transfer and second semester freshman holds, but none that are specific to a major.
And a follow-up to that then, since the instructors were really concerned about their ability to keep in contact with students, are faculty advisors assigned to students? So if I was in criminology, would I have a specific criminology faculty person who I was assigned to, who I could choose to meet with and then get the referral to your center?
For college, it's different. Each department does it differently. Crim, since they're so big, they don't do specific faculty, so they can see anyone within their option, like law enforcement, corrections. But like history, women's studies, they do assign them to a specific faculty member.
Okay, and then it's from that faculty person, students typically get the referral.
Right. So if it turns into like a GE question, then that usually they'll refer them over to meet with us.
Yeah, for example, we work really well with the college, or with the Department of Sociology. So the chair of that department really has a huge buy-in with what's going on here. So when he runs into those, he reinforces, use your academic counselor. They will help get you on the right path with those certain policy questions. Whereas I've sat down with students and they're like, oh, I'm really interested in nonprofit organization or starting something like that. It's like, who'd be a great person to see? Dr. Jenny. He runs this program. He's, really student friendly and approachable, and he'd be the gentleman to have that conversation of, where do I go from here to start that? That's again that shared model, and I think what we're doing with sociology really shows up in that area and criminology as well.
Yeah, criminology, in the beginning, some of their faculty were very against our center just on the cost, where's the money coming from, but also, again, losing that student interaction. And they have really turned around just on how much help we provided their students, how much we've taken off of their plate. So I think just kind of, being there, communicating with them, being open as possible with them through email, phone calls, whenever they call us and send us emails with questions. We try to get back to them as quickly as possible with that correct information. And when they refer students to us, we make sure before they leave they get that correct information. That way they can go back and say, yes, I met with Joseph or Lydia or Ross and they were able to help me out. So I think that's kind of where the buy-in is coming from, is students and just going back to them and telling them, the good work we're doing. I'll go.
So how many of, obviously you guys have been there since fall, you have a new staff, she just joined, is it an additional, or is it a replacement, or what did you start with and what do you have?
So we originally started in fall 15 with myself and another counselor. There were 2 of us for the 2,700 students. And then spring semester, she had taken another position. And so Joseph was a graduate intern in our office, went through the process, got hired. He's now full-time. And then we had Lydia as well come through that same pool. So started with 2, we're up to 3, hopefully growing. But 3 is where we're at right now, but started with 2 full-time staff counselors and a graduate intern. I'll go there, then there.
I might have missed this at the beginning. The University Advisement Center no longer exists.
It does exist. It does. So they're specifically working with like our undeclared, undecided population. our probation disqualification students, returning students,
Okay.
things like that.
Did either of you come through that center? I'm wondering, are those people still there, or did they transition?
No,
to colleges?
yeah. So I was at University Advisory Center for 3 years prior to this center. They have same staff. They've hired new staff because of people leaving, but for the most part, it's still intact. And then here and here,
So what are your classifications?
SFP2s.
Really? And then for appointment, for when you see students, you see them, is it an open door policy or do they come by appointments?
We
We take appointments. We're going to talk about a little bit also. We use grades first, and we create campaigns also. That way we can track how many students coming in, email them endlessly when they're procrastinating towards the end. But yeah, as well as, what was the second part of that?
I mean, in the beginning, in the beginning, we were very open door policy. We were just so new. We're just like, please, anyone come in, because we were so new. Students were still going to University Advising Center because they were just like, who are these new people, and why do I go to them? So in the beginning, yes, we were just open door. With just the numbers going up, we have our set walk-in days throughout the week, but for the most part, it's appointments unless we schedule a special walk-in.
So in the other centers that have a director, what does that structure look like? And do you know their classifications as well?
We have, for the other centers, the academic advisors are SSP2s as well. For instance, the director of the College of Science and Mathematics is Dr. Jaime Arbizu, and he directs that center. That was one of center that's kind of modeled for the other ones, kind of opening up, having 2 SSP2s, working with the new, because business has been around advising for a little while. So a hub advising center was pretty much science and math starting it. And they do have a director. Eventually we will have a director at our center.
Yeah,
Is it an SSP or?
He's an SSP4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And the thing is that our director, he could have taken the management MPP position or the SSP4, so he decided to do the SSP.
Okay.
And the science and math is one of those rare, or not rare, but they're one of the few advice centers that have a director. UAC, University Advice Center, is the other one. So all these other established or new advising centers at the time report directly to the associate deans. So transitioning possibly to directors at these new centers down the road. I think here and then back there.
I'm sorry if I missed this. So students have to go see faculty advisors first. They have to. Or is it optional?
No, it's optional. We're open to see them.
Okay.
They're open to see faculty.
It'll be interesting to see the numbers for faculty, if they're going down or up.
And that's the hard thing, is hard to track, because faculty, they don't use grades first, or it's not in
They don't
PeopleSoft.
keep track of their data.
Right. That is hard to track sometimes.
So to my understanding, with your new model, there's advising on general education happening in each college now.
Yes.
So given that students change majors from one college to another, and then you've got your central advising office that's home to undeclared, do you all come together on a quarterly basis, monthly, to ensure that any changes with GE, requirements out of the major, just in terms of consistency?
So we have kind of an informal advising center meeting that we meet probably once a month, and that's where we kind of share updates at the centers. Usually, since the GE changes not come through UAC, but they have a person on that committee, that information will come down from their office. But yes, any updates at the centers or in general, we have that informal advising center meeting where we kind of get together, what's going on in your center, what are you guys doing, especially around the business, registration time, when we do advising campaigns, things like that.
Yeah, for example, right around, was it registration? Yeah, we had a change of major policy form get redone, and we had to kind of bring everyone together and what happens if they're changing major? Now they need all these signatures. How are we gonna work as a team of hubs to get that going? And that's where the meetings have been really helpful.
Who runs that meeting?
I mean, like I said, very informal, so it's, I mean.
It is Ross right now a little bit, starting the conversation of, hey, let's meet up.
But it's
And-
not meant to, yeah, I mean, we don't
That's
really
your
have.
meeting, do it on that. That's your
And the university also does, they have the
And
Campus
the CAN
Advisor
talk
Network
about.
meeting, and that's where a lot of
I'm
the.
sorry, say that again?
The university has a Campus Advisor Network meeting, which is CAN, so all the advisors get together, and that's where a lot of the updates, and besides just the advising centers, just the whole university.
Who runs that meeting?
That happens about once a month.
University
Kathy
Advising
Dunbar's
Center.
our-
Gotcha.
And we do have a sub-council that's composed of an advisor and a faculty member from all of the centers that meets monthly on a regular basis to also relay updates that are supposed to get trickled to everybody in the centers. And then they also have a representative from Housing Support Net, all the supports programs. So there is a formalized committee that reports to the associate deans, and then there's our informal group that meets to have the day-to-day kind of discussions. So we have a few layers that we're looking at to kind of make it a little more streamlined. So we're in the process of kind of adjusting that a little bit.
But communication, as you can see, is key, keeping everyone in the loop, because you don't have that, it really start misadvising students, and that's really what we don't want to happen.
And we also have liaisons from the University Advising Center as well. So they have, each counselor is assigned to a college. So we have one counselor from the University Advising Center that we work with when she's working specifically with students interested in our majors in our college. So we do have liaisons from the University Advising Center as well.
Why should we come to you? So, someone brought up a good point, what do you do for orientation? Well, we use our dog days of orientation to really outreach to our students. They're the freshmen and the transfer dog days dates that we use. So it's our time to introduce ourselves. We bring in our associate dean to give a little message at the beginning of encouragement, then followed by probably about an hour and a half academic advising session. And we split that up because we house so many majors. So this summer I handled our criminology students. Ross handled the other majors.
Everybody else.
So, but it was a great opportunity to kind of add that human aspect. Hey, we're friendly, we're here for your success. Someone told me once, your success is my success. So I really want to, push that onto my students as well. So that's our time where we're talking about GE, obviously, course policy, but I've made this huge push to, really humanize us and make us, accessible through them. So adding social media for me was pretty big, and that's where I was able to really say, this is the time now to pull out your phones and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. I have them all up and running. I'll be introducing you to staff. I'll be giving out Starbucks cards, Kindle book cards to our bookstore, just to kind of keep it interesting. I'll go over a little bit more of what I do with that as well. And then again, how do we, we also get a little intrusive where we have the mandatory advising sessions that are put on by the university. So we use Grades First to create our groups, our campaigns, and then it tracks the percentage of students that are coming. In our center, we do the academic little report at the end, make sure we have all our session notes, so it's fluid for the next counselor to see who they see. So yeah, I may have seen you once, but Ross can see you and know exactly where we are at. So Grades First is a huge tool for us, especially when we're doing group advising sessions. Criminology, again, is a huge major. So how do we reach all of you to let you know that, these are the basics? We decided to develop a group advising session. How do we track, how many people are coming? Grades First. And then again, we use this email alert to just kind of like, hey, again, this is your chance to come in. We have these sessions. Please sign up for a session. If they call into our center, oh, I want to sign up for a session, please check your email. Use your email to sign up for the session. We don't sign you up for our things through our assistant up front. So it's really putting that ownership on them. Again, and then we create campaigns where they have slots to pick for their best time. And Grades First, I don't know, it's really nice. It shows you when the student and I can both meet. So again, it's on them to go and pick their time. We're not going to make that time for you. We've opened it up for you. So yeah, using orientation and Grades First has been nice. Again, ending with a nice little quote, not a nice quote. This is what it was like kind of before we came, and that's why we kind of see the need to make ourselves and create this new culture with our new center. Academic counselors did not have much contact with individual departments. students frequently complained about lack of interest on the part of the university level counselors. I was also an undergrad student at Fresno State, and it's not that there was a lack of interest, it's just how can one counselor know 56 majors and really show you that personalized interest? It's not feasible. I mean, unless it's, you can be that Superman counselor, but it is a lot. And so it's nice now that we're decentralized to able to give them that one-on-one, I know exactly what you could supplement Africana studies with, or how we can work with Chicano Latin American studies and criminology. It's always a conversation of how we're going to make the best of your time here at Fresno State.
And in orientation, we're also kind of starting that conversation is, what is the difference between our center and your faculty? Why would you need both of us? So that way they do see the reason to come see us, but also to see their faculty members when that time comes to talk about careers, grad school, whatever it might be. So we do kind of have that conversation with them as well, is let them know. You have at least 2 resources after today. You have us, and you're going to meet your faculty. We have faculty that help out at orientation. So you already have 2 connections already within your major. So make sure that you're taking away their contact information and knowing who to contact when you have certain questions. So we're already letting them know kind of what the difference is between the services both of us can provide.
And it's being really upfront also. I in no way want to let them know I am your career advisor ready to take you to the next level. I'm here to support you while you're here and make sure that you're successful. But man, that faculty is going to be an amazing resource for you. And it's always reiterating that. And, I think even when we bring that energy to the department meetings, that's where the buy-in starts to happen. When we let them know, it's a reassurance, like, we really believe you are the professional for your area, you're the expert, we want our students to see you. So, again, with student outreach through social media, we're on all 3 platforms. We have found that Instagram is the most popular one right now. Facebook is nice, and our faculty use Twitter a lot. So we're able to use Twitter to let our students know, hey, this is where did you know Dr. Kloon just wrote a book? She's on a book tour. So we kind of highlighted that for our students. Check out her book. Check out this article that was written. And then the idea is to keep them engaged and make it a human face on there, not just robotic every day, oh, here's deadline. I mean, they already have the deadline. They know where to go find that. So, hey, we're here at the USU, come check us out, answering questions. Or we're at this event, Also, there's the power of using a hashtag, and we let students know that as well. The hashtag is a history, so anything that we tag with that will show up when you type in FS Social Sciences. So again, when we're at orientation, we're letting them know, you can find us real quick, hashtag FS Social Sciences, because sometimes these names, if you can notice, change. Because they all aren't fluid. These 3 don't really talk to each other in the name of names. So really it's the power of the hashtag to find us first. So really using that, we've livened it up. We offer, certain raffles. We're giving away different swag as well to kind of just make it fun. Let them know that we are here. We're using this medium. They've been able to actually message us through there. And as long as it's something simple, not too deep, FERPA related, we're able to just really communicate a simple answer back, a referral, who to go to. Oh yeah, come in the office and we can talk further about this. So we're finding out that they're messaging us on here, not even emailing us anymore. So it's been pretty nice. We've hit 200 followers on Instagram.
Yes,
so
good job.
That's pretty fast for us.
Good job.
I don't know. I've kept an eye on other centers, and just watching this growth happen rapidly means we're getting buy-in. I was at another session, and someone's like, well, have you thought about using your grades first to let the whole college know about this? And I was like, I do now. So when we come back, I'm going to send out use grades first and send out en masse to the people that didn't use orientation. For the students that are already 2 years in and didn't come to Dog Days when this was around. So really the power of using social media and outreaching has been nice to get the student buy-in. We're getting, I checked this morning, that's about 75% of our 200 are actual students from our college. There are other directors, other centers are following us, some food places, so they can like us. Oh, there's a burger joint here. Yeah.
Are faculty at your orientation?
Faculty are not obligated, but they do come if they want to. So history department usually comes in. Dr. Jenny from sociology comes in. Some of the criminology professors come in, but it's not mandatory. So it's,
you do the orientation.
Well, I mean, if at a time, I think there was an orientation session last summer where one of the faculty members couldn't make it, so we filled in and did the advising for that major. But for the most part, the orientation department office does a good job of getting all the faculty on board to show up in the summer. So we do kind of the general advising presentation at dog days, at orientation, and then after that, the faculty.
there's that, yeah, the career talk. Yeah, I apologize.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
When you work with transfer students and you see their courses from maybe a lot of places, and you see maybe there's not an articulation established with the community college is further away from us, right? So do you communicate the need to the articulation officers or to the faculty saying, you know, we have a lot of people from Urban Valley and they're criminal justice and there's like 4 classes that would be really nice to have articulation. Do you, or is that the best place?
Yeah, it does come up. Not so much with the transfer. I mean, we have some courses internally at Fresno State that we could probably use like a blanket memo for, but I know we felt we were so new, we didn't want to have that conversation yet, tell them how to, you know, oh, this would be really great if you did this instead. But yes, definitely I think that would be a good conversation down the road as we see more courses from a certain community college coming in, like, hey, can we just kind of blanket memo this, that way it's automatically articulated when they come in.
We are able to have that conversation, say some unknown California, like not known for Central Valley, and you know, we've gone, pulled up the course syllabus or the description, oh it matches. I mean, that's kind of open for us to at least email the chair, hey, I have the documentation to support such and such. You know, now it's on them, but at least the conversation's there. So we are able to at least advocate on this on the student's behalf for a course substitution.
To kind of piggyback on what you said, our center's been around for a little bit, about 1.5 years longer than they have, and we're finally at that stage of credibility where we're having those conversations with either the department chairs or our liaisons. So we're making a lot of changes in College of Science and Math because we have that credibility. They're so close, they'll be able to do that soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was actually a question I was going to ask, is that you've had those conversations about pay, faculty, and departments, what can we do to sort of make your lives easier? And when do you think you'd be prepared to have the reverse conversation? Because I'm hearing from, you know, I'm lucky that our articulation officer at my campus has these conversations with us and with other departments because he's been there for a little bit now too. So trying to make it easier for the transfer student in particular to know, hey, it's not just on SIS, it's also embedded here specifically. I could take this class and transfer it on over to Fresno or wherever it is that I want to go. But when do you feel like you're approaching that time to have sort of that flipped conversation with the
Yeah, I think so. You know, for an example, CRIM, we have a CRIM stats class that's a lower division course that most transfer students get at the community college. The CRIM department allows any stats course to count. So I think that would be a good conversation to have because our students, yes, coming from community college out of our feeder system, doesn't automatically articulate in, even though right when I email the chair, she's like, yes, that counts.
They're freaking out, I'm assuming. Like,
right.
It's not there.
Well, that's why we try and catch them at orientation, let them know, like, hey, it's stats. Let me just confirm it's okay, but just you should be fine. But yes, there is that moment of, do I need it? Do I not? So.
And it's kind of on us to check those things. Like, hey, I noticed that you have math 6 stats down here. You know, let me go a little further. I'm gonna grab all this and I'm gonna email the chair, and we'll see where. Usually it'll get approved.
And then of course I have one last question.
Yeah, no.
Have you been tracking some of that information as far as, hey, I emailed the chair about this class from this school, so that you can reduce the amount of times you have to ask the same question, even though the chair probably didn't, you know, didn't remember from a month ago that you asked the same question about the same class.
Yeah, those emails we personally I keep track of all emails regarding students from all faculty. And then any memos that we submit to the departments, we have those on file also.
So maybe share with your AO so then they can look at it officially.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
If you get
absolutely.
it once,
We're right about there. Yeah, what's nice is we have a strong credibility that's growing, and then I mean in the future those conversations can be a little bit more easily had, especially now where we're at in the buy-in we have with our college.
Especially if you have that conversation going, hey, this makes your life easier, so I
Right.
don't have to pester you.
That's
as
where it
much.
comes from. That's the
Right.
buy-in that we've been seeing a
Yeah.
lot from faculty is like, oh, you're actually making my life easier. You're not trying to take away my
Exactly.
job.
Yeah.
You're finding things that we had no idea. Like, you're not offering enough Chem 1A sections for all the incoming freshmen. They didn't know that until we told them. So
Yeah.
it changes. So it's all just building that credibility. And
Yeah,
building that
and we're doing that, and I think it's working. So in the future, that conversation will be easier to have, especially when we have the data. We are keeping our own folders, so I'd have exactly how many memos I've created for History 20, which is now or History 1, which is now 20. So at the end, maybe at the future chairs retreat, which we get invited to every year, we can have our data to suggest maybe this. So yeah.
And one last thing, I mean, social media, we didn't start this from the beginning just because we were so focused on just seeing students and getting to know these new majors for myself and the other new counselors. So this summer with Joseph, we really kind of wanted to see where this could go. And what kind of since we're starting with scratch with this, we wanted to kind of just have as much fun with it. We didn't, like Joe said, we didn't want it to be, a calendar dump, as I've heard, just dates and deadlines and things like that. So this has only been up since June, so we were 200 people after June. It's pretty good, and that's mostly dog days and bribing them with swag, of course. But yes, and then we give them flyers as they come in after the appointments. Follow us on social media, and but yeah, I think it's a nice way to promote not only stuff we're doing in the college, but also our faculty and what research they're doing. Another thing we do is kind of an advisor faculty spotlight. So we kind of send them kind of a fun questionnaire. They kind of send us back and we'll post it on there. I think kind of just shows the student kind of the other side of the faculty. If you can kind of remember when we were students, intimidating to go up to talk to your faculty member, but maybe you see like, hey, we like to say music, So we kind of like to do stuff like that as well to kind of also highlight our faculty within the college. Yeah.
So with the social media, because I at least used to be on our social media committee for the Sac State Academic Advisory, we're kind of in a weird spot, we're working on it. How often would you say you post?
It's daily, and
Daily?
it's not just me, it's a team effort in that. I found out recently that I am now outdated and my memes are not funny. they don't make sense to students. Someone didn't know who Napoleon Dynamite was, and I was like, and, yeah, right? So someone's like, so our student assistants will create memes for us to keep it lively, and with our approval, and our admin assistant, Ismar Alvarez, she kind of helps with that. Also, we found technology that we could time our posts. So we can approve them, and then they'll come out automatically on Wednesday. And that's for all 3 platforms.
Is it like a couple posts a day? Because I guess my concern is overdoing it.
Yeah,
or
it's not very
underdoing
many.
it. 'Cause we've tried to experiment with our office with kind of advisor profiles and things like that. And really, they aren't interested.
At least a post a day. And then, again, using an orientation is a nice way to boost up how to make it fun and have that conversation. Because yeah, you don't want to water it down and have something come out. But what I found is, yeah, for every, again, we've gotten a little bit robotic this last couple of weeks because a lot of things are coming up. But really keeping it lively. Yeah, there might be one academic post, but I really want just 2 social posts, like things that are just human aspect, not a number. And so like this morning, our admin assistant put something out there for the Dress for Success drive that our career development's doing. We're always doing things with the other centers to highlight what's going on across campus. So, but at the same time, Ross and I are coming up to our thing and we're going live, like, hey, wish us luck, guys. We're here. UC Davis doing big things, So it gets funny, and yeah. So did we flood it today? No, because it was lively. It wasn't boring stuff just coming out where you could have checked your email for the same thing. So again, using that aspect. You know, if you know anyone that's using Snapchat, I don't know. We thought about it, but I think Instagram now has that going live that Snapchat used to have. So we're able to do both with Instagram. We're not using Snapchat.
In effect, Y Center's been in existence for a long time, and so some of the issue is getting the faculty to stay involved. There's a large tendency for them to say, oh, you can do all this, do all this. And for many of our, we've got a large transfer population, so they're not really used to the idea that, yes, faculty can have the answers to things. They think faculty only have the answers to things for the class, so that's sometimes our problem is getting the faculty willing to do that outreach to the students that says, yes, I'm here. You know, yes, I'm here to help you in things, not just, you know, students will come in and say, ask us their career questions, et cetera, because they see us as the friendly faces.
Right.
And in some cases, they're sort of afraid of the faculty, very much that, you know, well, if I come in and ask them questions, they'll just know to give me an answer.
Well, that's why, you know, with each student we meet, we continue to still refer back to faculty with certain questions as they come up during the session. So not to just say we're the one-stop shop, we can do everything for you, but still saying, hey, you had a great question about an internship in your major. I'd recommend you meet with so-and-so in your department. So still keeping that teamwork together and not so much as saying like, yeah, we can answer every question for you, you don't even need your faculty, is what we try to do to keep students, making sure they're still going to see their faculty, but also keeping them faculty involved.
Great job. Any other questions?
That's the last one.
We have business cards. If you have questions about social media, how you guys doing that, you know, anything else, please contact us. We'd love to hear how you're doing it as well. I'll stand by the back. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.